315. We have a bike ready to go, 318.
After a disappointing performance in last year's Bonneville Motorcycle Speed Trials, Team Turbo Tiger returned with renewed optimism. Riding the 265 horsepower Kawasaki ZX-14R Turbo, their goal for 2018, 185 miles an hour. Before entering the course, the bike had to pass a safety inspection.
Thank you, appreciate it. Good week.
Inspection stickers applied, the team was ready to begin tuning the engine to compensate for the high altitude.
We are still calibrating the motorcycle, so I have to do a couple of data runs. Not too fast, I've got to hit the gears correctly so that we can come into the pits and download that information to see exactly what the bike's doing.
Following Phil's instructions, Angus took it slow. So back at the pits, they could analyze the engine data.
So the first time you hit it when wheels spun up, it got to 10,100. The air-fuel ratio was 13:1, which is not dangerous, but it's a little lean. It's not like you're lacking power, though.
The bike is super fast. I actually spun out a little. That means basically that I've just got to increase the size of my balls, to be honest with you.
The guys proudly raised the Texas flag as a tribute to the other team members back in Houston. The following morning, the engine was retuned and prepared for another run.
So this is 174 for that last run after we did the tune. That's my personal best. I did 160 last year.
Happy with his performance, Angus surprised Phil with an invitation to ride.
So now we have a little bit of personal competition here. Phil Johnson is faster than me, but not because of his ability, right? It's because he's way not so heavy as me. So I'm being kind to him, I'm polishing the bike. He'll need that extra mile an hour to catch up. So he'll do well.
Polish. It's Angus's bike. He knows the bike well, but my bike is very similar. He says he wants to go 185. I've just decided my goal is 200. So we'll see. Terrifying the women and children?
Well, I can't think of a word that expresses my desire to beat the young man at his own game.
Entry paperwork completed. Phil is ready to take on the challenge. As is common on the salt flats, a crosswind had unexpectedly picked up. But undeterred, he was off to a quick start. Fighting a lack of traction and the wind, he quickly realized this course was not for the faint of heart.
Oh, son of a gun.
Only 190.
Only 190. Oh, he's so insane.
But it was scary because it started sliding around.
Yeah.
You know, the back end was moving at 190.
Wow.
And the crosswind was pushing me.
Really?
So I'm like letting off. But the bike...
But you reckon you got 200 in there now?
No doubt. So the bike definitely has the power to go 200.
With plenty of power to spare and 200 miles an hour in Phil's sights, the team decided a sprocket change would help with traction and make the bike easier to control. They were confident the next run would show improvement.
I did do 191,
yes,
which is good,
yeah.
But I need to think I've got to go harder. Before I was worried about getting to terminal speed and running it at the red line for too long.
Right.
I don't think that's going to happen.
With the course fresh in his mind, Phil was eager to make another run and push the bike to its limits. Pushing the bike harder, Phil gained almost 5 miles an hour over his last run. Better, but still short of his goal.
But you went from
Next, the team prepared for Angus's run.
you were at 55.
Earlier data revealed an opportunity for Angus to make an improvement. They discovered his throttle was only 55% open during much of his previous run. Angus needed to try a different approach. And the change improved his speed.
What I've been doing is, Phil, quite honestly, you see now, you said it's 55 every time. Well, that's weird. Well, that's where I'm at, right?
Yep.
So this time what I'm doing is I'm going around and I'm grabbing to get the rest of the throttle.
A simple change of throttle grip gave Angus the big improvement he needed, a speed of 182 miles an hour, a new personal best. Following Angus's lead, Phil also changed his riding strategy and exceeded his personal goal of 200 miles an hour.
Congratulations, Phil. Good run. 200 miles an hour. And he wasn't even going to ride, you know? Just brought his leathers in case. So you said all you did was run right of center this time?
A little bit right of center, and I did work on moving my ass back a little bit, and I really had to push hard, like try to push my face into the tank. And when I did, I felt just pressure being relieved, you know, like, and that was right before I entered the mile, so I think that helped quite a bit. 201, hell yeah! Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I can't.
Spirits were high as they celebrated Phil's achievement with an old country song.
To know me is to love me. I must be a hell of a country song. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can.
Next rider.
At the starting line, Angus's mood quickly became subdued. He had been in a heated confrontation while waiting his turn. Now he was angry.
Ordinance clear, launch bike 318.
Would holding on to that anger affect his performance? He took a moment to channel his aggression.
Here's a mile. 192.
Woo! 192! He's going to be thrilled. He's going to just shit his pants. 192 is just blow his socks off. So it was interesting. He told me before he ran, a guy came and yelled at him, and then he told me, I'm so pissed. And I said, just forget about it. He goes, no, I don't want to forget about it. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to see if it makes me ride more aggressively. I guess it did. Yes!
After an emotional afternoon on the salt, the guys agreed. It was time to celebrate. Daybreak, the final day at Bonneville, an early start for riders, the last chance to put their names in the record book.
Bike 2318 on course.
And the last chance for Phil and Angus to beat their personal bests. It all came together in the end. After his first time riding at Bonneville, Phil went home with an impressive personal best of over 203 miles per hour. It was a week he will never forget. But the day was not over. Angus waited his turn and focused on a new personal goal of 200 miles per hour.
Course is clear. You can launch your next flight.
This whole trip is about me getting to 200 miles an hour. It's a personal goal. I'm just so excited because I'm getting closer and closer.
Although short of his goal, Angus blasted through his previous record at over 197 miles per hour. A humble man, Angus knew he couldn't have done this alone.
Many people took a lot of hours of their own time to get Team Turbo Tiger here. It's the guys in the background, the motorcycle shops that helped us. Everyone took their time and more time to get us here. We have had a fantastic week. We're going to come back next year and we're going to beat some records.
I decided about 3 years ago that I was going to get a motorcycle and make it go 200 miles an hour, not knowing how hard it was going to be. But anyway, I got my own bike, started working on it, and in the process of doing that, I met a lot of really great people, and one of those was Angus, who had a vision of the Team Turbo Tiger. And lucky for me, Angus has been gracious enough to invite me along on this trip, and even more so, he invited me to ride the bike. So it was wonderful that I got to ride the Turbo Tiger, go 200 miles an hour out here on the salt, but just satisfy a childhood dream of mine. It was really wonderful and great to be a part of a team, and I really look forward to what we can do in the future.
No, seriously, man, that was awesome.
I'm crying. I get tears in my eyes.
No, Phil, thanks, man. Good week.